Everyone, this is Courtney with Texas Teacher. Today, I consistently hear from people who need help with the pedagogy section of the test, the instruction and assessment, those, especially those 45 multiple choice questions. Now, a lot of people look at the preparation manual for the LOTE 613 and it has some sample questions. But what some people don't know is that the German and French test also have practice questions that are over the same competencies. So today I thought I would show you some of these questions and go over the questions and answers because the first three competencies of the test are the same on all three of those versions of the LOTE. So you can get free practice this way. So let's look at some examples. A foreign language teacher wants to design lessons that will require students to use critical thinking skills. Which of the following activities will be most effective for beginning level students? So we're talking about novice students. Novice students have no functional ability to communicate, especially at novice low and novice mid. Novice high, they're getting there. So they're not going to be able to speak extensively in the target language. So we want to keep that in mind when we answer this question. A, after watching a video about the target culture, students write to their pen pal in a target country. They wouldn't be able to write that, not to a pen pal. After watching a video about the target culture, students turn and talk to their shoulder partner, summarizing the video. Again, they wouldn't be able to summarize a video yet when they're novice. C, after watching a video about the target culture, students reflect on their own cultural practices and share their experiences in English. So they're still learning about the culture, but they're doing it in a way that they can actually do it. So C seems like a good option. Let's look at D. After watching a video about the target culture, students conduct a simulated phone conversation with a peer. That's also too hard for novice students. So C is correct because reflecting on one's own cultural practices is an activity that involves critical thinking and is appropriate for beginning level students. A, B, and D are too difficult for beginning level students. Let's look at number 2. Mr. Johnson teaches a class that includes students of multiple language levels. That's the ACTFL levels that I talk about in tutoring, the novice, intermediate, advanced, and also superior distinguished. He has noticed that some of his students who are native speakers are reluctant to speak in class. He feels he can connect with these students by conducting home visits and learning about their home language. He hopes that his efforts will lead students to take risks and participate more in class. Which of the following best describes the strategy that Mr. Johnson is implementing? Select all that apply. Establishing a culture of learning. His goal is connecting with people, not necessarily in this case, learning. Connecting with families and communities. Well, it's definitely B, but we have to select all that apply. Organizing a safe classroom space. That seems like it might be tempting, but his goal is to create a classroom environment that's inclusive, right? D, creating an environment of respect. That's definitely right. So B is correct and D is correct. Let's look at why A and C are incorrect. A is incorrect because the focus is not on learning, right? And C is incorrect because the emphasis is not on creating a safe classroom. So we knew B and D were correct already because those focus on what he's doing, creating an atmosphere of respect and inclusion. Let's look at one more. After explaining present tense forms of selected verbs to students, a foreign language teacher in a first-year high school class wants to reinforce the recognition of these verbs in context. Which of the following activities will best achieve this goal? So they're conjugating, right? Present tense, and they want to recognize these verbs in context. A, asking students to talk about personal experiences using the present tense verbs they are studying. B, having students fill out a verb chart that includes the singular and plural forms of the verbs they are studying. That wouldn't really be in context. C, leading students in reading a paragraph written in first person and then asking students to rewrite it using third person. That also would not be in context. Asking students to highlight the present tense forms in a text they are reading as part of a class assignment. So D is correct because the activity teaches students to read and identify the verb forms they are studying by recognizing them in the context of a text they are reading. A is incorrect because it focuses on speaking skills that do not specifically involve recognition of the verb forms, right? Not specific recognition. And then B is incorrect because it does not focus on the verbs in context, right? And C is incorrect because it promotes manipulating forms, which is beyond recognition. that they were talking about. So I definitely recommend you go through all of these. There's 17 of them. And if you're struggling to pass the LOTE, I have a comprehensive course that gets you ready for all domains. And I also offer tutoring. We meet Wednesday nights and we talk about the pedagogy in detail, the theories, the acquisition, language programs. We also talk about the 5 C's, the ACTFL guidelines, everything you need to know to pass that section. We also practice reading, writing, listening, speaking, and Spanish to get you ready for all domains so you can pass with 240. If you have any questions or would like to join my course or tutoring or both, please let me know. You're welcome to email me, message me, however you want to reach me. I would love to help you pass the LOTE. Thanks.